Good morning, greetings, and salutations. This is the Gaming Minister Sho'Nuff to bring to you some Phantasy Star Online 2, and we're going to get some consistent gaming going. It is 7:35. I think I have like 25 minutes before we get some workout going, because I'm going to start working out at 8 o'clock, and I have to get back on track with that. But nevertheless, let's get started. I'm doing some tacos, and I may be in and out of my microphone because I have family here. Say hey. Hello. That is my mother, ladies and gentlemen. So it is the holiday season, and I promised myself I was going to go ahead and do some streaming for you guys. So stay a bit consistent, and let's just go from there. So right now I am doing some tacos or Tom Attack client orders. And this portion of the stream is brought to you by Team MC. Don't be competitive with other streamers, be competitive with yourself. Check out teammc.com for more on how you become a part of our team. Really kind of keeping it basic, so I just really want to get through this. Not stating there isn't a real benefit with with doing higher tier missions or whatnot. It's just that I just really want to get through this real quick, real fast, because money's. What these rabbies? They're evil. they're the bane of my existence. No, they are cute, no doubt about that. It's just that they have this move that's known as I think it's called Magi Ball or something like that. I'm just trying to remember the name. And what it is that they cutely shoot the ball out of them, out of their mouth, or just conjure the ball with you, and it will slowly gravitate towards you or just go towards you. If it hits you at any time, you're dead. It's the death move. Yeah, they'll instantly kill you. So, well, I don't know if they do this in this game, but I do know in the past, or rather in games of that they were featured in. They have done it. Now look over here, and we're gonna unlock some switches. Let's step on some switches. I'm gonna try to do this before workout time. Usually it doesn't take 25 minutes or anything like that, but this is Sho'Nuff, and this is of course AToH channel. This is the AToH Project, so. And for those that have been following AToH Project and have been supporting, I want to give a big thanks to those that have supported, that will continue to support, because this is just for the love of the game. Really, I feel that this is, to create a positive influence in our gaming community, something that we desperately need. And to really just kind of not talk about it, but talk about it anyways, because I want you guys to know what's been going on in my head. As of recently, I've been thinking about how I really should, how I really should approach, this channel, because I've been wanting to do guides, I've been wanting to do LPs, and more so I wanted to do a lot of streams, just to really kind of like just unwind, sit back, relax, but more so get back into the swing of things. And the games I've really been streaming as of recently, not just as of recently, just really overall, it's just MMORPGs. The big three MMORPG games that I do play is, of course, Phantasy Star Online, as you see. That's because until I'm able to get my Final Fantasy 14 game back, and I'm gonna let you guys know before I continue that my family absolutely knows my gaming. My mother's a gamer, my sister's a gamer, my brother's a gamer. my pops, he somewhat knows gaming, but you know, when it comes to the family, we all gamers. We're gamers. We're big gamers, and so you know, when I speak on Final Fantasy 14, my mother knows a lot about that. So, so what it was is that, as I told y'all before, you know, that I felt that what had happened was completely unjust and unfair, and you know, but God's got this, and we're gonna work it out. So, the thing of it is, overall, right now is until I get that back, I've been having an impeccable time in you know, Phantasy Star Online too. I've been with many players in terms of just you know, socializing. You know, instead, you know, even though I've uploaded the social highlight video that contains some issues, you know, there's a solution for that, and I hope everyone really enjoys that and really see from my point of view, or rather from a perspective of this isn't the only game that has, you know, that has took place in terms of those issues. But meanwhile, the thing of it is, overall for me, is that I've been playing Phantasy Star Online 2, really enjoyed that, really enjoying this game. Diving a bit deeper into the very aspects of the game. The hero class is the newest class in the game, and however, I'm taking my slow time doing it, because it's not the fact it's OP. I feel that if that's the only class that I have to get, you know, if that's the only class I have to use just for me to, oh my god. If that's the only class I have to, oh my goodness. They insist on trapping me. So if that's the only class I have to use just to progress through the game, nah, I'm good. I'd rather use a class I enjoy, or just level up classes that I would enjoy, and, you know, not to pass up. No, don't get me wrong, am I going to be hero? Yeah, you know, in some time, I guess, you know, I'll be able to get it. It's not that hard, but then again, it's not really that easy to do it. I'm not really in a hurry to, you know, there's just classes I really enjoy, especially Braver and Hunter. I mean, all the classes can be enjoyable, so if you really put your time into it and understand it. So, alright, so and I'm playing with my skill point loadout. I'm playing, you know, with a few skill point loadout ideas, because a lot of the skill points on websites, rather than skill point related websites, they're just really outdated. So just top that. There are some new features in this game. They just updated with now Dark Blast. You know, I kind of knew it as Nano Blast from Phantasy Star Universe, but it's similar to that. If you know the Beast race, they had something that's known as Nano Blast. They go into this enrage mode, and they can dish out more damage and turn into this, you know, a beast variation of themselves. The Dark Blast in this game is no different. You know, added to the fact that you can add more abilities and level up your set skills from, you know, of that, and I think you could possibly extend the time that you have transformed. I'm not so sure, but don't quote me on it, because I may be wrong on that. So, but overall, pretty cool adjustments, pretty cool nerfs, or rather pretty cool buffs, and I don't know what the nerfs are, because I think they extended the range of certain weapons and skills and whatnot, and while it's not too bad. Oh, cool. And they're going to start announcing they're now announcing a PQ all the time. I need to work out, and I think that's the trick or treat. I wouldn't put it past if it's trick or treat, because it is, after all, Halloween. So, and for those that do celebrate it, happy Halloween. For those that don't, well, happy Tuesday. You know what I mean? So, get wet when I was there. Oh no, I'm fine. Hopefully, I gotta go through that again. So you see how I gotta figure out which ones are the. Oh wait a minute, they're colored. I'm stupid. So all right, so colored yellow. Let's go. So we gotta go back here and destroy and get rid of these enemies over here. There we go. And there we go. So we just gotta make sure that there's nothing back here to have to grab. But okay. And yes, we do. So there we go. Man, that would have been... Oh, man, that would have been crazy if I missed that. Alright, so we got Phantasy Star Online too. So meanwhile, I was telling you guys the big three MMOs that I do play. Phantasy Star Online 2, DC Universe Online. I'm starting to get back into that game. In fact, like I told the developers, well, I already told you guys that. I told the developers, hey, if you guys bring out any Batman Beyond content, well, expect for your boy to to return. And of course they did, and because of that, I'm going to go right ahead and give them a little gift, if you will. And we need to go back here and grab this one. We need to hurry. So we need to grab the green, and we need to grab the orange so we can get through there. And lastly, we need to grab the purple. So this is what you get when you don't pay attention to games, and this is what you get now. But the thing of it is that you learn, so we're good with that. Learning is awesome. DC Universe Online, and of course Final Fantasy 14. And the thing of it is with those games for me right now is, and my goal is that I just wish to create some guides and just really kind of, socialize and just play those games and have fun. Even though, if you ask which is my favorite MMORPG game of all time, Final Fantasy 14 all the way. I mean, the story is incredible, the game is absolutely good, and I really enjoy the content in the game. Even though that you're paying like a monthly service fee or whatever it is, the bottom line being is that for what for what I'm asking for, I get more than enough for it, and I sincerely appreciate Square Enix for it, in spite of the mishap that has happened. But that's just me being a noob when it comes to banking. It is what it is. So moving forward, I want to showcase more MMO games. I wanted to do Skyforge, but Skyforge is, we already know about Skyforge. Just to tell y'all, because just saying, the game sucks, and I didn't necessarily really like it. I mean, the bugs and mechanics in the game is absolutely just ridiculous, and this is not talking about this is not talking in lieu to, well, we're gonna get to that person in just a moment. But long story short, Skyforge just isn't really a good game. I don't like it. There's a lot of issues in the game that needs to be fixed, and until they do, there's no reason for me to support the game, none whatsoever. In spite of anybody that really prefers the game over good games. And if you like that game, congratulations. You like bad things, so that's not my problem. However, the bottom line being is that I wish to move forward, and with that being said, I was like, well, man, I got some other games I do want to stream, or just want to do some LPs on, and definitely go from there and really see if I can get some developers on board and really start doing some reviews and stuff like that. And I said before I was going to perform guides for you, and to edit some guys for you, and of course, fashion, that's pretty much where I excel at. So why not? Let's power up this map real quick. So what I do is get these And so for that alone, I was like, well, man, you know, maybe there's some RPG games that I can, you know, that I can stream LPs on. And Battle Chasers, which, you know, a game based on the incredible comic by Joe Madureira. You know, growing up, loving the comic itself, I just said, you know what, I want to hopefully get that game one day and soon, and we'll stream it and do an LP maybe perhaps. So we'll see how it goes. So if you guys have any suggestions, any ideas on what games, you know, I should feature on this channel, please by all means let me know, because I think that what I'll do is I'll stream some games on this channel and stream some games on my Twitch as well, so I can keep that, you know, alive and kicking. I may reserve that for like events and whatnot, but we'll see how it goes. It's just my problem with Twitch right now is I have an affiliation program. I have an affiliation invitation, and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. The problem of it was, as I got on, they asked for like some form of security on there, and because of it, I wasn't able to get everything for it. And as I tried to do security and put junk on my phone, I put some application on my phone or my tablet. I tried to do that several times, and I was like, you know, this is ridiculous. I'm not able to do it if I can't get an affiliation legitimately, because I signed up everything properly, I did everything right, and if I can't get an affiliation for it legitimately, then I'm just not going to worry about it. I'll stick with YouTube. That's fine. Not to say that Twitch is bad or whatnot. It's not the case at all. I just felt that the security on it is really flawed, extremely flawed, because I did everything right and I don't know what happened. And when I tried to, you know, contact Twitch on it, I've yet to hear from them. So, but as of recently, I stated that I am no longer going to be a part, well, not even just a part, but the reason I'm talking about this, and I may sound like I'm rambling, so please bear with me on this. The reason why that I'm talking, you know, I'm really talking in this direction is because, number one, I'm going to have a podcast coming soon. I was doing it on Sunday, then I stopped because, you know, I had some things come up, and I pretty much had to abruptly put a stop to it for a moment. That was number one. Number two, the fact that I was, you know, I was kind of repeating the same things over and over again. So I really had to like sit back and say, okay, what can I do? And organize everything. And yeah, so expect a podcast coming up, you know, to come up this week. But what it was that I was watching some videos this morning, and I said to myself that I need to really kind of peel back a bit and kind of like, you know, reevaluate what I watch and what I'm putting into my body, man, what I'm putting into my mind. For instance, you guys know about Dark Side Phil. I was even told that, you know, man, you know what, don't worry about doing a video on Dark Side Phil. Like, even though I already have the video still, you know, I was told don't do anything, you know, don't worry about it, you know, Dark Side Phil is irrelevant now. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But this guy is really the bane of the existence in the gaming community. And however, this guy is not, I'm not going to say he's at total fault with this. What I'm saying though is that and now I'm on the search of things, so I'm just kind of backtracking right now. I feel like, is the community doing anything at all to you know, to discuss at hand the issues with the problems that he's providing in the community? No, they're not. In fact, all they're doing, it's like they're derailing, detracting, or they call it detractors. So I've never heard that term before, and you know, when it comes to doing YouTube videos, because now every time I go on YouTube, I'm always receiving recommendations of, oh man, look, you know, Dark Side Phil, wow, really, you know. So, you know, instead of doing something you know, that's what's going to, you know, to do something that's what's going to enhance the community, you would rather set into motion the problems. And oh my goodness, okay, now I really need to backtrack. Oh geez, okay, so I really need to backtrack. So I'm sorry about this, guys, because I went around and I'm like, hold up, I need to see what is going on here. Okay, so this is what I get for rambling and not really staying consistent on my wordings, or rather in my terminologies. Okay, so again, just saying, the problem I had with DSP is this dude, we all know that this guy is an issue in our gaming community. Do I feel personally, and I'm not saying this because my family's here, I'm literally saying this because I even stated this in a video that I have. Do I feel that these detractors are doing the community justice? No, they're not. I mean, they're not doing anything that's what's you know, they're not doing anything that's what's help propelling the community. They're not doing anything at all. They're not, you know, all they're doing is they're re-uploading some stuff. And this guy is, you know, he goes by the name of Almighty Tevin, and I'm putting this out there because I really want people to understand that, you know, the education behind this, and this is really one of the reasons why that I felt that this needs to be addressed in a more mature, in a mature manner, you know, to say the least. This guy said that ignoring Dark Side Phil is literally like, there we go, we found it. Ignoring Dark Side Phil is like, and he gave a bad analogy on this. He stated, you know, ignoring Dark Side Phil is like, he used some gangs as an example of this, saying about, you know, you got this one side of the gang. I don't know nothing about gang life. I've never repped a gang life before. I don't know anything about that. But what I do know is, you know, the stereotype behind it, and of course what was the issue in our society, and what was done to basically quell certain situations, you know, and purvey solutions. Because no one knows anything about that. In spite of what most people would say. And if you lived it, that's one thing. But the thing of it is overall, and I'm not talking or judging anyone. What I'm saying though is that it was a bad analogy, and it was like, okay, you got an opportunity to actually to educate me, and it was ooh man, I couldn't believe what I heard. So I couldn't really give you a quote on the issue and what he stated about the analogy. It was just a really bad analogy pertaining to game life. And it made no sense whatsoever. And the reason I say let's make it sense because he gave not only a bad analogy, but he was providing an excuse for people to do what they do. And it's just no excuse whatsoever. And this is my deal here. This is like saying, if you really want to be technical, let's go with the pizza here. You know, and I have video on this to prove it. I think it was uploaded still, I'm not so sure. But this one person had me on a podcast and he spoke on sexism in gaming, and I spoke on racism. This person stated, and I kid you not, I was livid, and I couldn't say anything because they didn't allow me to say anything because I was the only black guy in the group. So what happened was, overall, they stated that, well, racism you can ignore, sexism you can't, because I live it, because I'm a woman, I have breasts, and therefore it's a problem. Well, this is where I have to educate, and I feel like this is where the analogy comes in. If you're telling me to ignore racism, then you're stupid. You're completely stupid. And I mean, you know, if that was the case, that would be even stupider to use. But you know what? I would have understood that. Because at that point, that's like saying, okay, so what you're telling me is you can't easily ignore Dark Side Phil because he's making money based on stupidity. Meanwhile, there's other people out there that are doing something good, and instead of focusing on that said good for the community, you are focusing on the bad. You would rather focus on the drama. You would rather create drama to focus more on drama. And I don't understand what sense does that make, you know, but if that's you, if you wish to go away 2-3 hours, a chunk of your life, to simply provide that type of content, have fun. There's nothing that I could say or do that would deter your, you know, your thought and education on the matter. That's it. And that's all I can do, but continue on striving to move forward and to help, you know, bring positive influence into the gaming community. But is it kind of hard because you see people like DarkSidePhil, Low Tier God, and Chris Chan, amongst other people, and Keemstar and whatnot, that provides this sort of things to YouTube? Yeah, some of the things you could ignore, and there's others that you just like, you know what, it is what it is, whatever, you know. And I find it that so many people will ignore people. Like, I was watching this chick named the RPG chick, and she creates RPG. Her YouTube is literally based on RPG games, and she creates content on that. And I don't see enough people going to her channel. And granted, she may not be the best RPG gamer out there, but who's to say that the best players receive the best views? And I'm not saying, you know, and again, there's double-edged swords to this, but the thing of it is, and the fact of the matter is that you have people that are trying on YouTube, and yet these people are not receiving any sort of Burritos done. And when I come back, I'm gonna do the rest of those, and I'll stream that as well. But a lot of those people are not receiving any sort of attention because of the very aspect that these players aren't, you know, they're not entertaining enough, or they're not, you know, they're not about drama, or they're just too nice, and I don't understand that. In fact, I would never understand why a nice person would receive negative things. You know, I don't get it. But DarkSidePhil, on the other hand, because his name is DarkSidePhil, I guess, I don't know. But this dude produces some really raspy content, and it's ridiculous of how people will project their monies to this guy, knowing for a fact this guy will cheat you out. He done some really crazy things on live stream. One of them being that he just recently spoke on this guy's, just crapped on this dude's, his passing of his brother, and instead of consoling him, or giving him condolences, you instead crapped on him because you felt that he was trying to garner attention to him on your channel. Makes no sense. So many people spoke on that, but the thing of it was, I felt like, okay, if this isn't what should stop people watching DarkSidePhil or stop reporting on him, then what's to do next? You know, what are you guys going to do next? I mean, you know, I don't know what to say anymore, because now you have people that are still reporting on the things that he does, and it's like this one guy named what's that dude named from that movie Baby Boy, the singer. His name is not Tyrone, is it? I think it starts with a T. Yeah, I forgot. Tyrese, that's his name. Yeah, Tyrese said it, and he may not be a Christian. I don't know. I'm not judging his life. I don't know whether or not. I don't know what the spiritual stance is, but he couldn't have said it better. He said, "Man, some of these haters, you have to realize that these haters don't have a life at all." And the ones that think that a 9-to-5 job is work, you know, they have a job, they have a life or whatever, they have a social life, they feel that anything outside video gaming is a life. But they don't see it as DarkSidePhil, regardless of his shortcomings, he is doing something for himself, and it's up to the people to basically, to see what he's doing is legitimate or not. Unfortunately, the things he does is not legitimate, but people will throw money at him. But Tyrese said it even better, that you're going to have people that will create accounts to hate. Haters comes in so many forms. You have the positive thinkers, the positive motivators, the positive attitudes will create maybe 1 or 2 accounts, and they will propel themselves to move forward and for them to do something with themselves. The haters are going to create several accounts. They have to create account. They have to do they have to do the hardest work out of anyone, okay? Because they have to devote their time all day, 5 hours, 3 to 5 hours, okay? At the least 1 hour, at the most 3 to 5 hours. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's 8 hours, okay? They have to create an account. They have to fill out the information, the email address, everything to create these accounts, okay? And then they would have to basically watch you and quote unquote endure the content, pick and pat on what's the issues is, and then deter that into basically hate based on your opinions or your delusions of grandeur because you feel that your opinions is fact. Again, not making excuses for DSP, but hear me out. The fact of the matter being is that these dudes will do this, upload these videos to YouTube, and you got several other people that will congregate together to go onto these channels and simply would just create this crap storm full of nothing but vitriol, complaining, whining about what a whiner is doing, what a whiner is saying, what a whiner is purveying to their audience. And instead of detracting yourself from, rather detaching yourself, and ignoring those issues, because of course, what does a dog do when you don't give him any more treats? You simply the dog will simply go move on to doing something completely different. You know what I'm saying? Most people would rather have a cat because a cat is less messy, I suppose, and they're independent. So they don't need a lot of affection. Dogs, they need a lot of affection. They need a lot of attention. It's much akin to budgies or parakeets, if you will. They need a lot of attention. They need a lot of love and affection, basically. If you don't have that time to devote to these pets, and if you feel, then overall, who cares, right? Because you have a life. But the thing of it is that these people are doing this, and then once that well runs dry, because they can't wait to see Darkseid fall. They can't wait to see Darkseid just go into this complete abyss of themselves and of himself, and then that's it. He's shut down. It's completely it for him. Let me ask you guys this, okay? When that goes, or if that was to stop, where would you go to next? What is it about them overall that makes them compelling? Because the way I see it, there's nothing else. I watch all these guys' channels, and there's nothing else that allow just for me to say, I want to watch more of that channel because this guy's making perfect sense. No, you commentate on and converse on issues and what everyone else has been stating, and you divide this up and people are talking about the same exact thing. And I'm not attacking any of these guys. I'm not attacking this dude Almighty Devin. I'm not attacking him. But what I'm stating, however, is that what sense did that make for you to create this very piss poor analogy? Only there was common sense right there. The problem of it is that you are producing more drama, more issues, and the perfect solution, especially as a black man, the perfect solution is for you to simply deter from that and start focusing on what can we do that's what's going to outshine Darkseid. And if we can't do that, then all everyone's going to see is drama, and people who's going to donate money to drama. And I can't be that guy to do that. I can't be the guy to do that. The reason I'm talking about this now is because so many people have asked me, and I kid you not, so many of these people have asked me, man, what are your thoughts on Darkseid? What are your thoughts on Military God? I have made it my point that I would no longer watch this stuff because I feel that, man, this dude, no matter what I say, nobody's not going to listen. And it's not the fact that it's not to say that no one would listen. I feel that You can't go to synagogue and expect to be like Jesus and to actually talk about something, to talk about the issues, and people are going to, expect to see a turnaround. No, you have to be that solution by simply going to synagogue, be the solution, and then people can say, who is that person and how can I be like that? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I mean, does that make any sense to any of y'all? It's like you can't go there and then talk about the issue. You have to go there and be the issue. You can't go there to talk about solutions. You gotta go there and be the solution. You know what I mean? So if I feel that if a conversation was to start, it's to get people riled up and ready to go, get themselves fired up and say, man, okay, I'm looking forward to this. But then when you're being the solution, people can actually look and say, wow, okay, this makes sense. So what can we do? Well, first off, number one, every time I see that stuff in my recommendations, because even before I never watched any of that stuff, it came in my recommendation feed on my YouTube channel. I completely deleted it. I blocked their channels. I don't want to associate myself with that stuff because it's not to say it has nothing to do with me, but I don't wish to associate myself with that. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're not talking about solutions, you're part of the problem. If you don't wish to be the solution, you are therefore part of the problem. As long as that you wish to watch that stuff and to wish to just create a form, and then it's just a 10-year-long form of nothing but dark side filled, this, whatever the case is, this guy's been on YouTube since 2008. 2008, if not 2007. This guy has been on YouTube since 2008. And since 2008, this is now going on 10 years, this guy's been on YouTube. Talking nothing but fluff. And you guys have spent 9 to 10 years of talking trash about this guy. It has done nothing to propel your community except getting cheap views and getting people to talk about something to which everyone is already talking about. And I'm not saying that it makes no sense for not everyone to talk about. It's the fact that no one is doing anything to purvey said solution except attack his personal life, which is, I feel personally, is unjust. And that's worse. Absolutely. So the thing of it is, guys, is that the reason why that I do these YouTube videos and of course my Twitch is because all I want is positivity. I just want to bring nothing more but the love of what I do and what has helped save my life, man. You know what I'm saying? And I want that to be a thing for those that feel that, man, that if gaming has been nothing but a positive thing to you, then do it. I mean, Dark Side Phil, what I do admire about the guy is he did something that he believed in. He got he did a YouTube, he has a YouTube channel based on gaming. He bought these games, he played them in spite of the negativity and the toxic that he has created. He did that. And many other people have done it. But on a level of Dark Side Phil, he really doesn't have a level, so I'm not even going to really give him that much credit. But what I can say, however, is that what he does have is a business. What people are doing is help creating a business, because when you go to McDonald's, you're giving your money to the people so they can create create products for their, for their communities. It's the same way if you go to a mom and pop store or a privately owned restaurant. If you like and enjoy their product, you're going to give them money so they can improve on the quality of their products. This is how business is generated. When people see this as quote unquote games, games is in the business. You gotta be kidding me. Then tell that to Game Informer, tell that to PSM, tell that to EGM, tell that to these many other companies that have created a very unique perspective on how gaming journalism or how journalism based on gaming, electronics and things like that. Explain to them how
they don't have a life for this. Well, they've gone to school and whatnot, and they got education for it. Some of those cats didn't went to school for that, and I can tell you, I can point out the few that doesn't, and I know a few off my hand that has never gone to school for that stuff. I'm not stating, that it's something that can't be done or can be done. What I'm stating here, however, is that if you believe that you can do it, achieve it, and go for it. But remember, put God first in what you do, and more so, stay on the course of positivity. Don't derail yourself into the abyss of what these people have to offer for you, man, because it's a cheap, it's literally a cheap, it's a cheap way to go out, man. If you're given a straight line and you're asked to stay that course, so you can, so at least if anything, you can reap some rewards of what is, what it has for you, and instead you're giving a quicker way by going around that success, then you're doing nothing but a disservice to yourself, man. Because in the end, yeah, you may get that success quicker, or rather you may get a cheaper way to get to success quicker. But at the same time, the problem of it is at the end of the day, you're like Sporty Thieves, man. It was an incredible song to diss deal on TLC of Scrubs, and they talk about pigeons, but afterwards, they're a one-hit wonder, man. Don't be another one-hit wonder. Be a legacy and do something for yourself, man. And stay the course of positivity and put God first in your life, man. Don't create several accounts just to hate. Don't be like those guys, man, because whether they believe it or not, the fact of the matter is that they're wasting their time to hate. When you don't give money to a business, what does the business do? It crumbles. They would have to struggle to figure out and reinnovate until they realize, snap, this isn't going to work, or we need to do something that was going to pretty much conform to the community. If this means creating something positive, that's cool. Because it's not about what anybody wants. It's about what's not being educated. And we have to educate, man. We have to. And this is the reason why I do these channels. Rather, I do my videos. Granted, I'm playing Phantasy Star Online 2 right now, but I feel that no one is really streaming. There's an English-speaking streamer out there, so I feel that this is a great way for me to stream and to educate players how to play this game. Granted, if I only have maybe 1 or 2 viewers, I'm cool with that. I would have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I may be discouraged because I feel that, I want more viewers and I want more people to come on. But for right now, I'm standing firm in belief that there will be people that will come to my channel and will actually see what I'm doing is legitimate, and therefore more will come and more will flock and more will say, you know what? This guy's said legitimate, and I'm going to actually listen to what this guy has to say. Because I have information if anybody wants to learn how to play this game. You can even go to Discord. Many people will feel that, well, why come onto your channel if I can just go to Discord to an English-speaking community and learn from there? Well, it depends on how you engage in your social activities. If you wish to engage, by way of Discord, you go for it. If you wish to engage by way of YouTube, watching videos and making it viral, fine, go for it. You can do this way. If you rather go to Twitch, there's several forms that you can go to in terms, and when I say form, we're talking about media. There's several forms you can go to. You can, so that way you can engage in community output on several things that you wish to do. You can go Dust Loop, go SRK, whatever. The bottom line being is that there needs to be a form of positivity in our gaming community, and I feel that overall that there needs to be some engagement, viral engagement. So what can we do? Well, number one, start with this channel. This is not a cheap promotion. What I'm saying is start with this channel. Because I'm no longer motivated by views. I'm motivated by what I'm going to do. And I feel that if God has me for me to go this route, I will. Because Darkseid Phil has it made, and he doesn't realize how he has it made because no one's educating him on it. So meanwhile, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get prepared to work out. But I will be back. Give me about an hour or so, and when I do come back, let's play more Phantasy Star Online 2. Let's have some fun. Let's get some tacos out the way. Tacos, burritos, salsa, enchiladas, and yeah, create some positive influence. And much more to come with some announcements pertaining to some games I have and what's going to be projected onto this channel, because just so much stuff that I'm doing right now. I have a fashion catalog I'm doing. Yes, a fashion catalog. A fashion catalog. I can't believe this. Is Bruce L returning as Jim Lovelace again? Well, you'll have to find out. Until then, guys, be blessed. Have a blessed Tuesday for right now. I'll be back soon. I'm going to go ahead and get dressed and get ready to get started my workout. And my mom, what you playing, Mom? What is that, Farmville? She's playing Big Farm. So this portion of my stream is brought to you by Big Farm. Download the game right now. And also check out Advocate Life, guys, by Lockwood Publishing Ltd. Check them out at advocate-life.com and download the game on your mobile device. It is an absolute great social mobile social application, and it's great for you if you wish to expand a bit on virtual, or really just virtual social networking. So definitely check that out, and big shout out to Lockwood for that. Thank you guys so much for supporting your boy Sho'Nuff, and check me out on Instagram. Yes, your boy has Instagram at AToH Project. And one last shout out. I want to give a shout out to Miss Diamond Tracks. Miss Diamond Tracks, her name is Kaifa, but she goes by the name of Diamond Tracks. I also created a character for her. And it's a long story. You guys may hear us pretty soon. But for right now, Miss Diamond Tracks, love you, girl, and big shout out to you. And continue to keep doing what you're doing in your endeavors and whatnot. And guys, it is a wrap. Be right back on the 2 and 2 by His grace and in His name. Sho'Nuff.